Eat an Elephant, a Game Dev Planner Devlog Week 1. Eat an Elephant is a game dev planner and game design doc app built to work with our autistic and ADHD brains, ours being ours. So the story with this one is that I started it last year at the end of the year, and I started it in Godot 4, and I was using GDscript, and I'm still pretty new with Godot. I'm still trying to find my way around it. I got about halfway through my dev plan, and the bugs and the errors were just piling up, and they weren't making any sense. The ones that were particularly disturbing were I would make change to one node, and then other nodes would suddenly have those changes, and I wasn't making changes to these other nodes, and they weren't copies or duplicates. They were two separate nodes created as new, and for some reason, changes to one were happening to the other. And I had animations where I would set up the animation and it just would not save the changes. It just kept defaulting to something else, and I couldn't figure out what it was defaulting to or why, and why you can't just go in and edit it the way everyone says you were supposed to be able to. So I fought with those issues for almost 6 months. I just kept moving forward and adding the parts that I needed to on my, according to my game dev plan, and the problems just kept getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. So finally, I was like, this is not me. This is not a coding issue. There's something wrong with the engine, and I went looking for other bug reports from other devs reporting similar or the same symptoms, but maybe not on the same exact nodes. And what I found is that in Godot 4.0, there was a UUID bug, and the UUID is the unique identifier that Godot generates when you create a node. So the developers were reporting all the exact same symptoms, but on a variety of different nodes, which indicates it's an engine issue. So I went and looked at the source code for each of my nodes and found that the UUIDs were not unique between many of the nodes, and could have had it in some cases up to 4 different nodes of different types, each sharing the same UUID, which is why things were throwing errors. They had attributes across multiple files that were loading and overriding each other. So if you have a node 2D and it's loading animation content, you're going to get an error about mismatches. If you've got 3 different animation nodes using the same UUID, only one of them is going to default as the one that everything's using. It may be the last one that loaded, it may be the first one that loaded, but none of the animations will run correctly because they don't have their own unique information being saved. So it was a major issue. So I went to Godot and I read their documentation on it. They knew about it. They had pushed a change, and in 4.4.1 it's supposed to be fixed. So I decided, all right, I've already put a ridiculous amount of time into this. I actually spent a week trying to create new nodes, make sure they had new UUIDs, and then take the code from the other one and put it in that one. So the only shared thing, so that it used the new unique UUID and then tried to work with that. But then it started throwing a bunch of path issues because things had been set when they were sharing the unique ID, and that caused a bunch of new issues. So then I decided they've got to patch out, it's fixed. Do I really need to fight with this? Or would it be faster and easier to just recreate the project in a newer version from scratch with none of these issues in place? I've gotten pretty good at creating the nodes and setting them up, and most of the code, I can work with. So I was like, all right, well, I don't really like GDscript, and 4.4.1 has a C# version, and I just bought a game dev TV course on how to do C# and 4.4.1. I said, all right, fine. Let's just start over. I'm not actually scrapping anything because I can use it as reference, and I can recreate the project in 4.4.1. in C Sharp, probably faster than I could in GDscript because I've got coding experience in C Sharp. Probably should have just used it in the first place. And that's what this devlog series is about, is just creating the program again in Godot, in C Sharp, and trying to finish it before June of next year. It's supposed to be a 6-month project, which is why I was so frustrated with all the issues, because everything takes longer than you think it does, and then add a bunch of crap you've got no control over, and it gets really frustrating. So, as of this week, I have created a new repository, started the new project in the new Godot. I created all the nodes from scratch and opened their files and verified they are in fact unique. I copied all the GDscripts over, but I'm not using them. I just need them as reference so that I can make sure I don't miss any of the features that I already did. I recreated my project planner so that I'm not getting confused as to where I am in the project. And I updated the repository, and then I pushed the repository to the iPad so that we can also do the art. So I've included a little bit of video just showing where the project is at right now. And that's about it. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Join the newsletter on my website if you want to be notified when the planner is released. There'll be a free demo on the itch.io site, and we set the page up for that this week. You can subscribe or follow that page if you just want to be notified about the demo. Links to our website and our itch.io developer page is included in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel and our dev team, please leave a comment. If you're not sure what to comment, just drop a dragon and a fire emoji. Thanks. Have a good day.